Hey everybody, we are doing...
Let's start over. I was like choking a bit. After this tip.
Andrew's going to use that for the intro, you know. Start over, I was choking. Hey everybody, we're back. This is the Gladiator.
The Jeep
Rubicon.
Gladiator. 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. And okay, to start things out, Jeep and Fiat Chrysler, just in general, have the coolest sounding names of their vehicles, I think. The Gladiator.
Gladiator's cool.
The Wrangler.
Rubicon.
The Demon. Yeah. The Trackhawk.
The Trackhawk's cool.
What are they up to with those names?
That's not even fair. It's like they got first pick on all the names.
The Trailhawk. Clearly, the most obvious feature on this is it has a bed.
Yep. It looks good.
But it looks good, yeah. When I first heard that Jeep was making a Wrangler pickup, I was kind of like, okay, seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
But actually seeing it and driving it in person, I actually really dig it.
It starts to make sense after a while.
It makes sense.
It's not like the Hummer pickup, in my opinion, which is just bizarre. Like, there's no reason for a Hummer pickup. I think this fills an important need in the Jeep community, I would say.
I would agree with that, yeah.
All right.
Hit it.
Untitled. Oh, that's not too bad.
It does kind of throw you back.
It does.
It's loud.
That's real loud.
Loud.
60.
It is slow, though.
That is slow. It's slow, but it's fun.
Yeah.
That was cool. I mean, it wasn't like...
Not really.
I had zero expectations going in, and then when it had a little bit of giddy up, I was impressed.
I think the only reason why you think it's cool is because it was loud.
Yes. Correct.
Like, if it didn't have that noise,
it would be super slow.
It'd be really boring and really slow.
Yeah, yes, you are correct with that. But
it was just like, nah.
It does have the noise, because really that's about the same speed as the Corolla.
Yeah.
Like 0 to 60.
I think it's actually a little faster.
It's
I think
a little
the Corolla
bit faster.
was like 11 seconds.
Was it 11?
I think.
Wow. Okay, so never mind. This is significantly faster. 3 seconds faster. Wow.
Yeah. I used to own a 2018 Jeep Wrangler before I traded it in for my VW Golf. The interior of that and the interior of this, I'm kidding you not, is identical.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't notice anything that's different.
Down to the mesh pockets and the roof panels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing that you could say is different is in the back. Mm-hmm. There obviously isn't as much room in the cabin as there is in the 4-door Wrangler, just because you have the bed.
And is that a trade-off you think you would make?
Yeah. No, it would be.
Yeah.
Because you get, ultimately you get more space with this to haul things. It's just all exterior space in that bed.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't have all that much stuff that I would need to put inside the car, inside the cabin. Like, to have that stuff, the bed in the back, which is just a big open expanse where you can toss wood, like building materials or stuff from IKEA or whatever, that's super useful to me.
It's just like the Wrangler, but even more practical.
I think it's a much more compelling package, honestly. Like,
I'd agree.
I'm not the hugest fan of Jeeps, I'll admit. I think they're kind of cool, but like for me, I don't go off-roading, like ever. But if I could get a truck that's practical, but can do off-roading.
Yeah, you can go do some.
Yeah, that would be enticing to me. And the fact that this is basically Legos, like all the other Jeeps, you can take everything off, add accessories. That's cool.
And I think this is the most important conversation we need to have right now with this is how does it compare off-road and on-road to the Wrangler? Yeah. I think that it's actually better than the Wrangler on the road.
I agree. Like the Wrangler, your Wrangler was it had a lot of wind noise, a lot of it. This one, you still notice it. I don't think it's quite as bad.
I think it's actually quieter in this. Even going beyond that, it's just smoother, I think, on the road.
It doesn't sway as much. It doesn't feel as top heavy.
It's still like a little sway. Like you'll notice it when you drive. Like you still have to fight with the wheel a little bit to like steer on course like you do with the Wrangler.
Sure.
But that's just like weird Jeep quirks.
It kind of comes with the territory. Yeah. It almost feels like, oh, I mean, this is a truck now.
It's a Jeep thing.
It's a Jeep thing. Sure.
But I think part of why it's smoother on the road is because you do have a longer wheelbase, and you do have Fox shock suspensions on each tire, and it has part-time four-wheel drive.
Yeah. It's just
not all the time.
Little creature comforts like that really add up to a more pleasant experience, I think.
On the road.
On the road.
However, that does have consequences for off-road performance, mostly the long wheelbase.
Yeah, the form factor kind of screws it when you're trying to go over hills.
Right. You have a 37-degree departure angle on the Wrangler. This, you only have a 26-degree angle.
So that is significant.
So that's a pretty significant difference. Ultimately, though, this is still a capable off-roader. Like, you can still drive fast off-road with those Fox shocks, which the Wrangler doesn't have, does not have Fox shocks. So this can, like, I don't know, you can take, like, hits when you're going off-road, like, almost like a Ford Raptor when you're really going off-road. This can, like, take shocks better.
You're not going to be shaken to bits. I mean, it's still going to be bumpy, obviously, you're off-road, but it's not going to be quite as bad. Look at that dog.
Pup.
Wow.
What a QT.
What a day.
Realistically, if you're a normal person, you own a vehicle like this or the Wrangler, you're going to spend most of your time driving on roads.
Yeah.
And this is just better driving on road than the Wrangler. And when you take it off-roading, it can still perform and it can still go probably anywhere you realistically are going to go to. It just can't do as like extreme, like rock crawling, hardcore stuff like the Wrangler can.
Yeah, you're just going to get stuck a little bit more frequently if you try to go over tall stuff.
The Gladiator has multiple trim levels that range in luxury and comfort. So at the very bottom of the price list is the base Gladiator, which is $35,000, and I believe doesn't even come with AC.
Wow.
AC is an option.
You have to have AC in a car these days. You just have to.
Okay, so going all the way up to this trim, this is the Rubicon trim, which is like the top trim of the Gladiator, and that starts at $45,000. But I do know that they can go up to the low 60s of thousands of dollars in price. You can go up to like $61,000 or $62,000 in price with options.
I couldn't do $60K for a Jeep.
Yeah, like just stomaching that, $60,000 for a Jeep is a little wild, but Jeep does make things more expensive than that. Like the Trackhawk is like $80,000.
Yeah, but honestly, I would never get the Trackhawk, but I can see the appeal for someone who's into super high performance cars. Yeah, and I can see the appeal for this. I mean, it is super practical as a truck, and it is very capable off-roading, but 60 grand for an off-road toy.
So, okay, and that leads us into some of the options, because this has leather seats, which is an option. You get cloth seats as standard. The leather seats on this are a $1,600 upgrade.
Spicy.
That's a $1,600 option. Normally, you get a cloth top, which is easy to take off. However, with these hardtop, they're called Freedom panels. That's another...
Of course, they're called Freedom panels.
It's a Jeep thing.
That's a Jeep thing.
That's another $2,000 option.
Oh, man.
So you just start like ticking all this stuff. Like this easily is over $50,000.
Oh yeah,
with all the options.
You've got the auxiliary things here too.
That's like a $300 option.
Jeez.
The Gladiator normally comes with a manual transmission.
As it should.
As it should. Yeah. Right. It's fun to shift your own gears while you're off-roading or whatever.
Yeah.
The automatic transmission is a $2,000 option. While we're on the freeway, do you hear this?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Listen.
It does have bad wind noise.
It's very bad.
But I still think it's not quite as bad somehow as the Wrangler.
With the Wrangler, you got a little bit of a whistle sometimes. This does not whistle, it's just a constant drone.
Yeah, a little off-road. Look at this gravel.
Wow, wow. Here we go, brace yourself.
This is what this was made for.
Look at that. We were just pulling into a parking lot, but there was a little gravel.
There was a little gravel. It handles it so well.
I'm sold. 60 grand. All right, first impressions. Slow.
The only engine you can get in the Gladiator is a V6.
Yeah.
That produces 285 horsepower. They are coming out with a diesel model in the future, but right now you're limited only to the V6 with 285 horsepower. However, this is 1,000 pounds heavier than the Wrangler.
Wow.
You do have manual front and rear locking differentials.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is handy.
That you can use with this. So Jeep nerds can
rejoice
about locking rear diffs, locking front diffs.
So many diffs to lock. You're right about the sway.
Yeah, it just wants to like go right.
It just wants to wiggle a little bit.
I feel like. Yeah, because I noticed, it wants to sway, so you have to just fight it.
It's interesting because the steering wheel it's dampened. It's like if you've ever flown a drone, you can set your settings to where you put in, say, 25%, on your yaw, and it doesn't start moving immediately. It has a little bit of a buffer so that it doesn't look super jerky. That's what this feels like. You start inputting, and then it'll slowly ramp up to the turning speed that you input, which is kind of interesting.
It's kind of whack.
It is kind of whack. I don't really like it because it makes the steering feel both loose and stiff at the same time, which is really strange. It's like rubbery.
So one annoying thing that this has, and you can always turn it off, I think it's annoying at least.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Is the engine start like thing.
Whenever the auto cut off when you stop.
The auto cut off. I find it annoying. I know that like is good for the environment and like it saves gas and all that, but I really don't think it makes that much of a difference. It has to be the most minuscule, tiny difference because this still gets a fuel economy of 17 mpg in the city and 22 on the highway for a combined 19 mpg.
That ain't good.
Which is like not that great, and I don't think that killing the engine when you come to a stop for like 2 seconds before you start up and I just don't think it really
it's a piece of over-engineering that is completely superfluous. It is so unnecessary.
I do find that over-engineered. I don't think that's very necessary.
If you've got a good argument for it, please let us know in the comments because I don't get it.
Write down in the comments because I really want to believe that really does make a big difference, but I just don't really think it does. Yeah. And I'd love to be corrected if I'm wrong.
Sure, we'd like to know.
The glove box is quite tiny, more than you would expect. Yeah.
That's like less than half the size of a normal glove box.
Definitely smaller than you'd expect, and that's a little weird.
What?
Uh-huh.
That's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I bet cheeseburgers.
8 or 9 maybe cheeseburgers. 8 or 9
burgers.
I'm thinking because you have to stack them vertically and then one
I can see
horizontally
that.
at the top.
8 or 9 cheeseburgers.
Wendy's Junior cheeseburgers.
Wendy's specifically.
Not those full-size burgers.
Yeah, not that trash.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the center console itself is pretty deep. That's at least another 12 or 15.
At least 12 or 15 cheeseburgers?
Yeah, dog.
In just that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can get trucks, very capable trucks in like the 20s.
Yeah.
Like the F-150 starts like 24, I think.
The Tacoma. Yeah. It's like mid-30s.
And that's like less than half the price of this.
Yep. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I can see it. This is the first iteration of the Gladiator, so people are stoked about it. It's like the brand new Jeep. We haven't seen this before, I don't think. Yep. So I get it. I do get it. It's a kind of a status thing right now.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and it's cool seeing them on the road because they're like uncommon. Yeah. They're really rare to see right now.
I've seen maybe 4 or 5 of these, maybe.
Okay, so the big thing that I would like to compare this to price-wise, I just thought of, is the new Land Rover Defender.
Yeah.
Because the new Defender starts in like, I believe, the mid-40s.
Yeah. And then you get a Defender.
And like a lot of people are gonna probably trash on it because it doesn't look like the old school Defender, and I get that. But still, I don't know. Like I'd be tempted to get a Defender.
Just for the name Defender. Speaking of Defenders, I have just been on a trip for about 2 weeks with Sam from Wendover Productions, and we saw Gladiators everywhere on this island.
Gladiators?
Not Gladiators. We saw Gladiator Defender. We saw Defenders everywhere on this island. It was like every third car was a Defender. But speaking of Sam, shout out to the guy in the comments who always says hi to JT and Sam. This is not Sam.
Every single video, I will have you know, my name is not Sam.
This is a different person entirely.
I am a completely different person. My name is Joseph. My name is not Sam. All right, starting us out is performance, which I think is always a difficult thing to measure in off-road vehicles because we usually measure performance based on
roads.
But this does have strong performance off-road and bad performance on-road.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking.
I'm going to say this is my rating slanted towards road use. I acknowledge the fact that this is good off-road, but slanted towards road use, I'm going to say I give this thing a 5.
I hate that you said that.
Were you going to say 5?
Yeah, because I was going to say 5 too, honestly. I genuinely was also going to say 5, just because I feel like that's a acceptable score since it's a very strong off-road and very bad on-road.
Brings it in.
Brings it in the middle. All right, leading us into practicality. Next, though, I think this is
solid.
Really practical.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not super great is fuel economy. I'm going to go with a 9.
Really?
On the
Wow.
Practicality, yeah.
That high?
Well,
because, I mean, you've got wagons that have just as much space, and a lot of them can tow stuff these days. You've got stuff that SUVs that have more space.
With it.
You're sticking with it?
I'm sticking with it specifically because this is practical. You can also drive it pretty much anywhere.
That is true. I'm going to give it an 8.
All right.
I'm going to give it yeah, I dropped it a little bit because, I mean, these mesh pockets are crap. I mean, if most of the time you're going to have the doors on,
Kinda
I
true.
imagine. But
Yeah.
and I would like to have a real pocket there. That would help a lot for usability, like just general quality of life.
Yeah.
And that glove box is tiny.
Then it leads us into value. And value is kind of
That's iffy.
Because for like with the options, pricing this into like the $60,000 range, is really, really iffy.
Yeah, I think at $45,000 at the slightly lower trim, it's a good value.
I think having to pay $2,000 for the automatic transmission is a joke.
Yeah.
Personally,
Agreed.
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
However, I will say Jeeps do, especially the Wranglers, hold their value supremely well.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't really depreciate. Jeep Wranglers don't really depreciate that much, and I'm sure since this is so similar to the Wranglers, this will probably not depreciate. I will predict it right here. 5 years, if you're watching this in 2025, get back to me. But I don't think this is going to depreciate that much.
I tend to agree with that.
That's my suspicion.
I think this might depreciate even less because of the bed. I mean, you're always going to need a truck, and trucks are pretty, ubiquitous. They stick around.
I'd say this may sound high considering how much I just like trashed it a little bit, but I'd say a 7.
That is pretty high
on value. And the reason why ultimately is because I think that this is going to really hold its value. And so I think it deserves a 7.
I'm going to say at $45,000, I will also give it a 7.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes above $50,000.
Right. The base price at $45,000, I think deserves a 7.
Cool factor.
I think right now it's cool because these are so new. This is like the first model year the Jeep has come out with them, 2020.
Yeah.
They're brand new. There's not very many of them on the streets right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you do notice whenever they're on the road, at least I do. I'm like, oh, cool, that's a Gladiator.
Yeah, I totally
think it's
agree.
Cool. I think like your average person though doesn't really like look at this and be like, wow.
I think the average person's gonna be like, we've had those for years. Yeah,
it's a Jeep truck.
Even though we haven't. I'm gonna give it
I'm going with a 5.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's that cool.
I was gonna say 6.5.
I don't think it's that cool. Like, just.
I think as far as trucks go, this thing is pretty sweet.
It's cool, like in that way, but like.
Yeah, overall coolness.
Coolness is meh.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna drop it just a little.
Oh, I convinced you. All right. Quality.
Depends.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
Like.
Leather's nice.
Leather is nice. It is comfy. It doesn't really have very many cheap materials.
Infotainment's great.
Yeah, there is like the parts on the doors that are kind of cheap, but again, like this whole thing is like you're meant to like take it off, and like these are gonna get muddy, and you're gonna get like dirt all in here, and it's gonna get like filthy and like So it's not supposed to be like a really bougie, nice Mercedes experience.
Yeah, I mean, almost everything in here is like rubber or soft touch,
which is like actually not that bad to the touch.
Yeah, there's this thing right here which is plasticky, but that's about it.
Yeah, but again, like, also another thing about Jeeps, and this fits into quality, at least with the Wranglers, the interior is fully waterproof.
I love that. I feel a little bit bad giving it a 6, but I think it deserves a 6. I don't think it's much higher than that.
I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Okay.
Because it's certainly no luxury experience.
No,
in here.
it's not.
And then fun factor: when you're driving, it's pretty bleh.
Mm-hmm.
When you're off-roading,
I imagine it's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, kind of again depends on the circumstances of when you're driving it. If you're going on the weekends to like off-road, fun.
Yeah.
If you're not, meh. I'm gonna give it a 3.5, which I realize is harsh sounding.
Yeah.
The reason for that is, again, it's all subjective. I know I'm not gonna off-road that often. I'm probably gonna take this off-roading. If I had it, I'd go off-roading a few times a year, if that. And, I'd probably have a little bit of fun, but again, not like probably quite as much fun as I would if I had a Wrangler.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
See, yours isn't that much better than mine.
Mine is still harsh. Yeah.
Yours is still harsh, just not quite as harsh.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're decently surprised. The average score is a 35.5, which
that seems high.
That actually, I think, is actually quite high.
And the GoPro's died.
Just our luck.
We just needed one more minute. All right. Anyway, it's the same score
as the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. which is a 35.5.
I think it's a little high. It sounds high.
Sounds high. I would get a Toyota, the TRD Pro over this, honestly. And the Honda Ridgeline, I'm not sure exactly what the price was. We can pop it up on screen now, but it's lower. So I would take this over a Honda Ridgeline for sure.
Yeah,
Easy.
I think I would too.
It drives about as smoothly, and it's cooler.
Yeah, it's more capable,
and you
honestly.
off-roading. The Honda Ridgeline is like a car, so you can't really off-road with it.
If you're in the market for a Jeep, I think this is a great option. If you're in the market for a truck, also very compelling. I think it blends the two really well. That's it for the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yep. Stick around. See you later.
Curiosity Stream? What are you doing here? Curiosity Stream is the world's first streaming service for people who actually like to learn stuff. They have thousands of documentaries and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers. If you like our show, you'll love their speed category. It's got a ton of content on cars and other things that go fast. We've recently partnered with Curiosity Stream to help build Nebula, our new streaming service. Nebula is a streaming video platform built by and for independent creators. Because we all appreciate how supportive our fans are, Curiosity Stream is offering a free Nebula subscription with every purchase of a year-long Curiosity Stream membership. With this bundle, you get the best of both worlds. Curiosity Stream is home to high production value documentaries and nonfiction work, whereas Nebula is a place for educational YouTubers to try new things and experiment with different formats, things the YouTube algorithm would punish us for. Curiosity Stream loves independent creators and wants to help us grow our platform, so they're offering Grand Theft Auto fans free access to Nebula when you sign up at curiositystream.com/GTA. When you sign up for Curiosity Stream, you get instant access to thousands of nonfiction titles, and you'll get to watch a bunch of new episodes from Grand Theft Auto months before they hit YouTube, plus lots of other great Nebula originals. By signing up for Curiosity Stream, you'll be helping not only GTA, but the entire educational community, as we work together to build a place where we can create exciting new content that just wouldn't be possible on YouTube. Give it a try by signing up using the link below. We promise you'll love it.